Hi, this is Rebecca Edwards. I'm one of the co-authors of America's History.
This is Eric Hinderaker, co-author of America's History.
Hi, everyone. This is Robert Self, one of the co-authors of America's History. I think one of the things that I would emphasize as an author is that our part structure is not simply a table of contents. There's actually historical argument, historical content built into the part structure.
We've always really stressed the power of the explanatory and analytical frameworks that we use throughout this book.
We have continued to try with this edition to talk about not just what happened, but to give students an opportunity to think about why it happened and to understand that what we're providing is an active interpretation, that a textbook is not a bunch of facts.
And one of the places you see that really clearly is in the part openers.
It's really, in a way, the author's argument about how you think about American history. When you go to the part introductions for all of the 9 parts, again, it's not simply like, oh, this is a convenient way to do it, but in each part, we explain as authors, and we actually directly reference ourselves, like, why have we done this? Why have we divided American history up into these parts? Why are we starting this part at this date? What is the actual argument behind it? And that, in a way, becomes an assist for the teacher or for the instructor to say, well, here's why we're breaking up American history at, say, 1945. It may seem obvious, the end of World War II, but there are real reasons why that becomes an important and natural break in telling the narrative of America's history.
And those part openers have always been strong, but I think they're better now than ever. They really pay attention to why questions that I think really help drive home the thematic emphases of the parts.
It's an explanation. It helps walk the students through how you make a historical argument. So in the introduction to Part 8, for example, we have a section that is divided into 3 why questions. Why did the United States fight a global Cold War? Why did liberalism define American politics in this era? And there's a very brief explanation which points to the coming chapters as a way of understanding, well, here's why liberalism emerges as such a major force in American politics in this particular moment. What are the factors that do that?
We provide tidbits of secondary scholarship, how historians write about the past, how different historians may see things from different points of view, not necessarily in a simple this side is right or that side is right kind of way, but, well, a historian of women might look at this in a different way than a historian of immigration or something like that.
They also include a feature called Tying the Chapters Together that tries to explain how all the chapters relate together in the parts. So one thing about this version, this edition of the text, is I think the part structure is stronger and more coherent than it has ever been before.
It's about, I think, making clear to instructors that the structure of the book itself is not just like, oh, here's the table of contents and here are the chapters. It's actually something that we've thought and talked and argued about a lot as authors, and built into it a whole set of features that assist the instructors in explaining American history to students.